All right, we have about 5 minutes before we start class today. And let's see who's in it to win it this morning at 10:30 a.m. We will be definitely utilizing some strap action today, along with some blocks. So if you don't have that stuff on hand in this moment, then let's think about pausing the video. You do have, if you're watching this, we have about 5 minutes before we're gonna start, so feel free to just take a moment to grab those blocks and that strap. And just so that you know, I know this is really random, I don't have a ton of supplies to purchase left in the studio, but I do have, I think, 4 more blocks left and a few mats, and actually, and eye pillows. So if anybody needs any of those things, you can call me up, 797-2881, and we can do an order over the phone, and I can have that waiting for you, where you can just we can make an appointment, you can come and pick that up if you're needing a couple blocks, because I went out a couple times, and I gotta tell you, there's not a lot of supplies out there, and getting anything through Amazon is taking quite a bit of time right now. So if you need those, let me know. But in the meantime, we have about 4 more minutes left. Good morning to those of you who are watching, and we're gonna get into some hamstrings, utilizing some blocks to assist us in some strength and hamstring stretching, along with getting into a strap. And this morning, even in slow power, we were utilizing some hamstring openings in a nice, strengthening manner. And it's just nice to get into this space. A lot of us, I have noticed, just feedback-wise, have been doing a lot more walking, hiking, biking. Good morning, Susan. And because of all that walking, hiking, and biking, thighs, hips, hamstrings have definitely been getting a run for their money. So this is going to be a really nice way that we can loosen those up. So again, strap, block, hopefully you have a couple of those on hand. Use a couple of books. Books are amazing. Even in this specific class for today, maybe you want to use 2 chairs, really high up blocks, to put your hands onto, so that we can step through with a sense of ease and have that extra support. So definitely get your support structures and get ready to roll. We have about 3 more minutes left before we officially get going. So you want to make sure that you're well supported for your practice today. It's so lovely out. Feel free, if you have your favorite people to share your practice with, to tag them in it, and it will, invite people into the classroom with you if they're in our group. And if they're not in our group, maybe it will entice them to want to sign up and join our group as our community continues to support one another throughout this crazy time period of our lives. So, sharing is definitely caring. We have about 2 more minutes left. Feel free, if there's anything that you want to focus on specifically today, aside from those hamstrings, that you want to give some more attention to. I'm always happy to read your comments and to kind of change and rearrange the practice according to your needs. So feel free to bring that in. Nice. Well, let's find our seat. And close the eyes down. And for today, with the eyes closed, we're going to take a slight barrel roll with the body. Inhale and press the chest forward ever so gently. Exhale and swirl the base of the rib cage off to the left and back. Inhale around to the right and forward. Nice gentle circles, exhale. And inhale. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Let's take 3 more in this direction. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. 1 more. Exhale. And inhale. Switching directions. Bring it off to the right. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Exhale. Inhale, sweeping it forward. And come back to your neutral spine. Feel the softness throughout the vertebrae. And the ease in the breath. Drawing the hands together at heart center. And allowing yourselves to have an intent for today. If having your hands placed at heart center in Anjali Mudra is not in your practice, always feel free to put a hand on the heart, a hand on the stomach. Really, it's meant as a symbol of unity on a physiological note, on a physical note. Touching those hands together is joining together the 2 sides of the hemispheres of the brain on a neurological level, helping to create symmetry. But we never want to move beyond our personal belief structure. So being able to have that secondary offering is always nice. So wherever your hand placement is for this morning, bringing your mind to your personal intent for today. Creating some positive intentions for yourself. And as you repeat it to yourself, to your subconscious, personally rewiring and reshifting that perspective. Allow it to be said with a sense of truth and presence, as if it's already happening. And we'll seal it with a nice full breath in and a heavy sigh out. Open your eyes and release your hands. We're going to make our way on to our mats. I'm going to carry my bolster with me just for a little added support. And this is just so that I can kind of go to the edge of it, and you can use a blanket just the same. Sliding off the front, and it's going to pull the sits bones back for you, landing with my glutes on the floor, but it's lifting part of my rear, part of my glutes up and back, and helping to keep those, keep my sits bones shifted up and back for my hamstring. Block in place in front of me, and I'm extending the right leg out in front. Left knee is bent. From here, my left hand is right onto the shin just to hold it in place. Reach the right arm to the sky. Exhale and fold, reaching for that right big toe, right ankle. If you have a hold of the right big toe, go ahead and grab for it and see if you can find a nice halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale. This is another place where a strap could be fantastic to keep that leg straight so you can keep that long spine. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Gently releasing and bending that knee, moving that block slightly off to the left so the left leg can be lifted and lengthened out onto it. Strap holding onto your foot. If it's too far away from you this early into practice and the right knee is bent. Using your right hand on the shin for support, flexing that left foot, reach the left arm to the sky. Exhale and hinge forward, grabbing for that toe or possibly to the shin, to your strap if you were utilizing that strap. Staying nice and long. See how my shoulder's rounding forward? We want to roll it back and try to press our shoulder blades towards the spine. Hold the low belly in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath in and out. Gently releasing, bending that knee, both feet flat onto the ground with the knees bent. We can have our hands onto our feet, wrapped around possibly, or grabbing a hold of the toes. You grab where you need. Start to inch the rib cage in between the thighs. I'm going to wrap my arms around for today and grab a hold of the tops of my feet. Soles planted to the earth. Look forward on the ground. Inhale, drawing that tailbone up and back. Exhale and try to round and draw the head down towards the earth. Inhale and soften up just a little bit. Exhale, sink. Inhale, soften. Exhale, sink. 3 more. Inhale, soften. Exhale, sink. Inhale, soften. Exhale, sink. Pause here in your depth just for one more breath. And as you take that breath in, we're going to roll all the way up to the top. Let's go ahead and move these blocks out of the way just for the time being. We'll get back to them later. We're going to grab a hold of our straps. If you have a blanket or a bolster, we're going to bring that out behind us like a tail. Oh, and roll all the way back on it. And after that folding forward, it should feel actually really, really nice. We're going to hook the right foot onto our strap. Now notice that this is making you keep a slight back bend. We're over-exaggerating that nice long spine that we always hope for when we have our hamstrings being lengthened out, when we're talking about drawing that tailbone up and back. Let's pull the low belly in, and we're going to draw the right foot towards us, using the strap, if you can, on the ball of the foot, right behind, right underneath the toes, so that it's pulling all the way back into the calf, not just the hamstring. You have 2 options here. You can do just as I'm doing and actually use your bicep strength, bending the elbows to draw that leg in a little bit closer. Or if you want, you can walk your hands towards the front of the strap a little bit further so that you're not having to utilize the biceps. So in which way do you want to create that opening? Let's continue to allow that stretch to come all the way down into the calf. Pull the low belly in. 3 more breaths, nice long in the leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. And then lower that leg down nice and slow. It's nice to have the straps because you can just slide it down with ease. And if you do that, then you can step your left foot into that strap and start to bring the other leg all the way up. So maybe this leg is further away than the other, especially to begin with. It's early in the practice. One leg is always a little bit more flexible than the other, so you need to be patient with yourself when it comes to this. And are you able to keep the belly drawn up and in and the breath nice and full? We want to hook on to the ball of the foot so that stretch is getting all the way down into the calf. And then deciding if we're going to be bending with the elbow, really hugging in through those biceps in order to draw the leg in, or do you want to walk your hands up the strap so that the arms can remain long and this is a little bit more docile of a stretch. Either way, close the eyes, pull the belly in, and we're going to offer 4 more breaths on this side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, deep breath in and out. And just like the other side, we get to slide that leg all the way out, moving that strap out of the way for the time being, maybe wiggling out the fingers for just a moment, making sure that we're taking care of our body all the way down to the tips of our fingers. And then hands on the heart and the belly, tucking the chin in towards the chest, curling ourselves all the way up to a nice seated position. And we'll move that bolster out of the way. Let's bring ourselves all the way through, grab a hold of your blocks, and find yourself on hands and knees with your hands on the blocks for support. We're going to draw our hands towards the end of the block so the heels of our hands can be in the corner. And that way we're nice and solid. Point your fingers pointing forward, tucking those toes, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And this really allows you that if you wanted to, you could cup the hands around the base of your block. And just coming into a nice well-supported down dog. Let's bring the feet all the way together. Feel the strength and openness in the shoulders, the support that this lift offers you so that the heels can drop down to the ground. Inhale, coming up onto the toes. Exhale, sink those heels down. Twice more. Inhale, raising it up. Exhale, sinking and flexing those feet. 1 more. Bringing it down. Let the right leg lift all the way up to the sky. Draw the knee into the chest, hinge forward, and then we're going to try to kick the leg through. Heel touching down in the front. Bend the knee if you felt any cramping in the quad. Extend the leg back out. Press the heel, the back heel towards the back of the mat. So we're in a semi-split in this position, and for some of you this may be really intense. Let's bring the blocks up 1 step and find a nice halfway lift, pressing the base of the chest towards the thigh. Now bring that right hip and glide it back. Feel how it goes all the way into the IT band, not just the hamstring. Take 1 more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Letting those blocks come back down. Shifting forward. Draw that knee all the way in and step it back into your plank. Drop the knees down and then lower down into a modified chaturanga on the block. Sweep up, modified up dog. Tuck the toes, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in here. Let it all go. Let the left leg reach up to the sky. Inhale. Knee into the chest, round the spine, hinge forward, trying to kick that leg through. So your heel ends up at the front side of that block. If you had any cramping in the quad, you can bend the knee for just a moment and then return back to that extended leg. Bringing those blocks up, all the way up. Pressing the back heel towards the back of the mat. And then finding this nice, well-supported halfway lift. Pull the low belly in. Trying to press the base of the rib cage down towards the thigh and sink the left hip back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Give yourself one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing those blocks back down onto the second level there, into your mama bear. Bend that knee, shifting forward, and then pull the belly in around the spine. Hug that leg in, stepping back into plank. You should be already shifted forward because you did that. Drop the knees down, lower down, modified chaturanga, arms right next to the rib cage. Sweeping up into a modified up dog, and then downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in and out. Let the right leg lift back to the sky, drawing the knee into the chest, hinge forward, step it between the hands this time. And then go ahead and drop that heel down all the way. Sweep it open to your warrior two. Bring the hands behind your back, and we're going to clasp them together. So we're staying in a warrior two stance with the body, or with the legs, but the arms are going to just bind behind you, opening up the shoulders, strengthening in through those wrists and softening. Pull the belly and ribs in, sink down a little bit deeper. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Extend the front leg out. Reach the arms out to the side, bringing the left hand to the right. Clasp a hold of those hands. We're going to pivot to the inside of the thigh, shifting forward at that angle, and then letting those hands drop down to the ground. Sink into your fold. Bend the knee. Find a halfway lift, release the bind of your hands. Sweep it back open to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down to the ground. Shift, step back to plank. Choosing to go through your modified flow here or meeting in your downward facing dog. How are you feeling in this moment? Left leg reaches to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest to step it through in between the hands. Back heel spins down. Sweeping it back open to your warrior two stance. So just like we did on the other side, we're going to bring those hands behind us. Clasp, shoulders rolling back in together. So we're sinking into our warrior, but we're staying strong and open in the shoulders and really allowing those shoulders actually to soften in and open up due to all of the extra work that we're doing with the blocks, right? So sometimes modifying one area means strengthening another. Take one more breath, nice and strong in your warrior two. Feel that inner thigh opening up. And then we'll bring the arms out wide, lengthening the leg up and bringing the right hand to the left. Feel and see how the body turns with the hand. Clasp them together. Come to the inside of the thigh. Shifting with that straight leg and letting those hands come down to the floor. Melt. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Bend the knee, release the bind of the hands if you had it, and let's sweep it back open to warrior two. Opening up, take a deep breath in. Exhale to cartwheel those hands down to your blocks. Shift, stepping back to plank. Let's shift it forward, letting those knees drop down to the ground. Modified chaturanga, elbows come right next to the rib cage. And up dog. downward facing dog. Beautiful. Deep breath in and out. Let's shimmy and lift the right hip up. The right leg is staying straight. And we're going to slide it forward, 1 footprint. Pressing into that thigh. Lifting and pressing through that right hip so the left leg is hovering. Sliding the left foot, 1 footprint in front of the right and melt. And go ahead and see if you can just waddle it forward all the way between to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, release. Sweep it to the sky with a full breath in, and then let the hands pass through heart center. Gorgeous. Let's flow a little. Inhale, reach. And exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Hands onto the blocks. Bend the knees. Jump, step back. High plank. Let's go ahead and stay on our toes this morning at this rate and shift it forward, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches to the sky. Draw the knee into the chest, round hinge. Stepping the foot. And the left foot meets the right at the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweep it up, deep breath in. Swan dive it down, forward fold. Halfway lift. Hands to the ground, to the blocks, bend the knees, and step it back. High plank. Nice and lifted here. Shift it forward. Lower down, chaturanga, elbows gliding along the ribs. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches to the sky. Knee into the chest, round hinge. Stepping it through. And the right foot meets the left. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Sweep it to the sky with a full breath in. And hands come through heart center. Let's bend the knees. Finding that little bit of a chair position, right? Bend, bend, bend. And then shift the weight into that right leg. Step the left foot back. Coming into your crescent lunge. Lengthen out, hinge. Come up to the top, inhale, bend. Extend, lengthen out, hinge. And up to the top, bend. To modify, you can always drop that back heel down, lengthen out, hinge. Up to the top and bend. If your heel hasn't dropped down yet, go ahead and drop it down now. Reach the arms to the sky in your warrior one and open it up to the sky. Deep breath in and out. All the way forward and down. Hands dropping down, stepping the left foot to the right at the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Sweeping it up with a full breath in. And then the hands coming back through heart center. Sink back into your chair. So from that chair, weight shifts into that left leg, drawing that right leg up. Bringing it back. Let the toes settle down, raising up. Crescent lunge or warrior one. Which one works for you today? Hands passing through heart center. Lengthen out and hinging. Inhale and sink. Remember the back heel can spin down for better balance. Lengthen out and hinge. Raising up and sinking. Last two. Lengthen out and hinge. Raise it up and sink. Once more. All the way up and sinking. If you haven't dropped that heel down, do so now. Come into that warrior one stance. Reaching the arms to the sky. Open up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And reaching it forward and down to the ground. Stepping it forward, forward fold. Blocks in front of you so you can inch your feet apart. Feet parallel to one another. And depending on what your level of flexibility is, I want you to be able to drop the forearms down onto your blocks. So maybe you need them up high, or maybe this is where you need a chair in order to release. Take 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Hands back onto those blocks. Let's shift the heels in, sinking down into our yogi squat. Oh, how amazing does that yogi squat feel right now? So if your hips don't like to drop all the way down, or the knees aren't so happy with you, grab your blocks, move them around, and they can turn into a seat beneath you so that you can actually rest and come into that yogi squat without putting too much pressure on anything. Hands at heart center, pressing those elbows into the inner thighs. Let's stay nice and long. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. Go ahead and remove that block from beneath you, coming all the way down into your seat. Shifting back, hands behind you. And we're going to just windshield wiper those knees from one side to another. One more round on each side. Coming all the way back through center. Let's grab a hold of those straps. Let's hook onto the right foot to begin with. Right leg nice and long, left leg nice and long. And we're starting to walk that strap up. So are you grabbing a hold of the strap, or do you have a hold of your foot? If you have a hold of your foot, what I'm going to ask is that you're using both hands, and then you're actually grabbing a hold of the foot from both sides, okay? We have the ability to draw that leg up even higher if it's there, or put it away from us if we're starting to bend the knee. So let's find that spacing. With or without the strap, what are you utilizing in this moment in order to have that bind, drawing the foot all the way back? Pull the low belly and lean back. Lean back, lean back. And we're going to try to lift that left leg, hovering. Flex the foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the strength in the core, the balance required. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Letting that left leg lower down, raising the body up into a high seated position, and then noticing whether or not you can draw that right leg just a little bit closer. Whatever your new edge is with a long spine, let's hold here. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, using that strap to be able to slowly lower the right leg down next to the left. Holy hamstrings and abs. So let's come into the other leg, hooking onto that left foot, drawing it towards us, starting to find our hamstring opening. Sitting up a little bit taller, pull the low belly in, inhale, exhale. We want the leg to remain straight, so we use that strap so we can have it as far away from us as we need it to be, with a nice long spine and a long leg. Inhale, exhale. Does it start to give way? If you're using your hands on your foot, remember we're going to place it on both sides across the ball of the foot so that we're drawing it back and into the hamstrings as well. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now whatever that is, we're leaning it back. Use the strap along the way. Pull the low belly in nice and firmly. We're going to try to lift that right leg up into its hover. It's harder than it looks. Inhale. Exhale. Flex the right foot. Reach the heel. Pull the low belly in. Inhale. Feel your balance. Exhale. Find that center. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take 3 more here. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Lower that right leg down. Find your way all the way up to the top, and then just see if maybe your hamstring gave a little bit more. Pause in that new length with a deep breath in and out. Slowly releasing the strap and letting that leg lower all the way down. From there, moving your strap, throwing your strap out of the way. Lean back. We're going to bend that left knee and cross it over the right side. And as you can see, my foot is at an angle at this point. Flexing the right foot, I'm going to roll on to my right hip. And as I do, I'm going to adjust this foot so that the knee is staying stacked over the ankle and my foot is pointing directly away. That razor edge of my back foot is touching down onto the ground. Use your left arm to hug in, press away from the earth with the right hand. Feel the side body and side leg opening. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Rolling all the way back, undoing the leg and extending that left leg nice and long. Switching sides, we'll hug the right leg in so we can cross that foot over. It starts off at that angle. Left hand behind me. And as I start to turn off to my right and onto my right side, the razor edge of my left foot settles down to the ground and I adjust my right foot so that my right knee is stacked over the ankle. Pressing away from my left hand, using my right to hug that bent knee in towards me. Inhale. Exhale. Side leg and side body opening. Inhale. And exhale. One more. All the way back, letting that right leg return onto your mat And let's make our way all the way down onto our backs. Moving your ponytails out of the way if it happens to be in just that center spot. We're going to press through the heels in a wide stance, lifting the hips up into a nice wide bridge. Hands clasped behind the back, inching the shoulder blades together. Nice deep breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. Let's flex the feet enough that just the heels are touching. And then try to hamstring curl on the earth, drawing the heels closer towards you. Settle the feet back down onto the mat if they aren't already. Releasing the bind to lower the hips all the way down onto the ground. Beautiful. So let's rock the knees off to the right. And from there, possibly inching that left foot a little further away, coming deeper into the quad and into the hip flexor. Let's look past the left shoulder. Just for 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Looking at center, shifting the left foot back onto the mat if you inched it away, and bring the knees up to the top. Take a nice deep breath in at center, and on your exhale, let those knees drop over to the left. And maybe for your body, you can inch that foot off the mat just a little bit further, opening up through that quad and hip flexor. Pick the head up, turn it off to the right, and settle. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inching that foot back onto the mat and all the way back through center. Coming into our inversion for today's practice. Let's go legs all the way up, and we've done a lot for our legs today, so maybe you want to do your inversion with legs at the wall, and that might be a really nice gift for you. But if not, let's do legs up, possibly into your shoulder stand. Forearm stand, headstands are all available to you. You really want to pay attention to what your body needs. As we're in our shoulder stand, or if you're all the way down into a Viparita Karani, your legs up the wall, let's settle into our inversion. And we'll take 4 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Bend the knees and hug it in. hands behind the legs, rock and rolling all the way up to a nice seated position. Whatever that means for you today. And let's let the neck rock over, the head rock over to the left. From here, let the left arm sweep up and over, hand onto the head, and just using the weight of the arm to carry it over further. Start to turn the head down towards the collarbone, hand at the back of the head, curl it in. Releasing the hand, rolling the chin to chest. Lifting the head up to the top nice and softly. Let the right ear drop down to the right shoulder. And then that right hand sweeping up and around, carrying the head over a little further. Let's tuck the chin down. Curling it in. Release the hand. Roll the chin to the chest. And come all the way up to the top. Rolling those shoulders out. We're going to make our way down for our final twist before we land into our Shavasana. Let's melt slowly down onto the ground. Going into a gentle twist for today, so let's skip the crossover. Arms open wide, draw the knees up, and let those knees drop to the right. Right hand can go onto the thigh for a little bit of weight if the knees are separated, and looking past that left shoulder. 2 breaths. Inhale. exhale. Release the hand from the thigh. We'll bring those legs all the way back through center. If you notice that your hips are out of alignment with your shoulders, go ahead and settle the feet. Bring the hips back into alignment and then draw the legs up into that 90-90. And from there, letting those knees drop over to the left. Left hand onto the thigh and look past the right shoulder. Let's release that hand. Come all the way back through center. And extend the legs out onto the mat. Finding our Shavasana today. If you would like, maybe grab a hold of that blanket. And before we lay down into our flat Shavasana, have that blanket underneath the sacrum and down the glutes towards the heels. Just tucking in the pelvis under slightly, keeping the low back nice and neutralized, and then letting the hands rest down. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Welcome to your Shavasana. nice and steady. Wherever your mind has drifted off to, purposefully bring it back. Bring it back to the intent that you created. The way your body feels laying on the mat. How often we have waved our hands in panic and despair, certain the answer, the insight, the piece of information we need will never come. Yet often the answers that we are seeking are right in front of us. There is a part of us, our heart, that knows where we're going, knows what we need, knows what the next step is. Our heart will lead us on. Our soul will move us forward. Our instincts will take us home like a radar, beaming us to safety. Feel your panic, feel your frustration. But keep your eyes and your heart open. The answers may be closer than you think. Maybe it's right in front of you. Let's begin to come back into movement. If you happen to have that blanket underneath the glutes, let's take a moment to remove that blanket now. And then reaching the arms up over the head. Nice full body stretch. Softening. Moving the fingers and the wrists, the toes and the ankles. And then drawing the knees in. And making your way onto the side, calling your name today. With the eyes still closed, let's press all the way up to a nice comfortable seat. Purposefully bringing that grin, inviting that smile to kiss the corners of your lips, hands resting on the knees. With the eyes closed and a smile on your face, inhale, opening the heart forward. Exhale, rounding slightly. Inhale, opening even wider. Exhale, rounding slightly. Inhale, opening forward, hinging forward. Exhale, rounding back. 3 more forward, even further. And exhale, rounding back. Inhaling forward, even further. And curling and rounding back. Last one. And all the way back out through center, hands coming together, touching the forehead, tilting your head up towards the sky and offering yourself that one last intentional deep breath in. Exhaling and melting forward. Thank you so much for such a lovely class. I sincerely hope that your hamstrings feel amazing, and I